Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back here to the NRG series where we are bringing you a 7-round team event that's standard, pioneer, and modern. But who are we? Well, my name is Will Hall, better known on the internet as the Will Hall EXP. That man in the booth with me, well, that is the esports himself, Mason Clark. And we are so happy that you all are here joining us in round number 3 because I'm excited. I wish we recorded my excitement when I saw this deck list. I thought it was a joke when I clicked on it, but it's a real thing that's about to happen. In the feature match here, we have got 5-color Infect with a 2-0 record. So I'm super stoked for it, Mason. I know that you're gonna have to deal with my excitement this round. I apologize, but this is all my dreams coming true. This is what I want to see in modern, and we're gonna be seeing it this round. So I'm super stoked.
Yeah, Infect is a deck that used to be kind of a mainstay of the modern format. Left around MH2, hasn't really come back. Kind of got usurped by Hammer, right? Like was doing a similar thing, but a bit more consistent, a little more resilient. But now, players are experimenting. Like, Scion of the Draco, when you have the Leyline combination, is really strong, and that card hits really hard, right? Like your pump spells kind of do the job still with that card. So it's interesting to see players experiment. I'm excited to see what they do this round.
I can't wait. We're going to go straight down to the matchup where they're going up against. It says Azorius Control. Is it Azorius Control? I thought it was I thought it was the Reanimate list that we're going to be playing against this round. But
yeah, maybe. If not, there's a really cool Esper Reanimator deck going on in Pioneer we'll check out later. So it's really a win-win.
Yeah, either way, we got Bruce going left, right, and center. It's fine. Not that I'm going to be favoritism at all, but come on, Kevin. Come on. One time. Let's do it. Let's get some Infect damage going across the line and test the production team to see if they do get these Infect counters up on screen or not. But looks like we're having a little bit of a mulligan here on the right of screen from AJ. Going down to 6, potentially, if we like to keep this hand or not.
All right, so this is Esper Reanimator. I see a Grief in hand. Or yeah, it's a wild Azorius control deck.
I'm having a little look at the list here myself. Starting off with Leyline. Love it. Closed deck list tournament as well, remember? So when we see like someone glistening elf, we're not going to be surprised. That's an agent off the top. Unblockable. Inkmoth Nexus for the turn. It's taps for all 5 mana. I'm loving it. I'm buying it. Noble Hierarch coming down. I'm so excited. Come on.
Yeah. Also, if you're AJ, you just don't know what's going on, right? Because so the game starts, your opponent doesn't reveal Giganta. They put the Leyline in play. And you even saw AJ kind of be like, well, what's going on? Right. And then now it's just having to shock and pass. And it's just kind of obviously the Inkmoth Nexus gives you it away a little bit, right? But what are they doing? Why do they have this Leyline? What else is in their deck? What could they be doing? They have all 5 colors now. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Here it comes, his Blade Agent, the 1/1 Infector with Unblockable. In response, we're going to draw 2, discard 2, gain 2 life. Life not really going to matter too much in here. But some of the advantages we're going to get from this 5-color Infector main list is we get access to some unusual pump spells that we can't see. So we've got Gaia's Might. It's basically +1/+1 domain. So for every basic land type you control, you get +1/+1. So for 1 mana, we can get +5/+5. What else we got going on in here? We've got Might of the Alea. Am I saying that right?
Alara.
Again, Alara, thank you. +1/+1 for every mana type. So a lot of 1 mana pump 5. We've also got a Wrenn and the Realm Breaker in here, meaning giving another way for our lands to tap for all color, as well as a couple of extra abilities on that. Look, what you're selling, Kevin, I'm buying it all. I'm ordering all the cards after this.
While that happened, AJ decided to be the fun police play to Fairy, Time Raveler, unsummoning the Blade Agent, and pass the turn back to Kevin.
That is one thing looking at this deck. There is no protection spells going on in this 5-color Infect list. It is all just pump and removal. So interesting that we couldn't do something like a Vines of the Vastwood to protect the Inkmoth. And we're going to play I can't remember its name. It is a Phyrexian Crusader. Pro red, pro white. I'm so excited right now, Mason. You don't understand how excited I am. The 2/2 first striker, pro red, pro white. There it is on your screen. I should know. This is the card that got me to a Pro Tour. Literally, this is the card that got me there. I was laughing at people with their Path to Exiles on Lightning Bolts back in the day. Just you can't do anything against this. Cannot be bounced with its Fairy coming down. And the problem with it is we got to get that in. Here comes an Archaeologist. 0/3, maybe going to be a bit more. Path to Exile. Nice prismatic ending. Don't worry about that. My creature's got pro white.
Yeah, and that is the thing that really matters. Like if this was a blight agent, it'd be very easy to finish it off. But in this world, we just have to main phase get rid of this noble so they don't get the mana.
So we've got a slight little problem here. Obviously, there is a 0/3 blocker on the battlefield right now, and it doesn't have pro blue, so that would be able to go through. We do have Leyland's Binding in our deck, so maybe we could get that off the battlefield. Double pump spell, win the game. I'm down.
I'm down. Also, I think I'm Team Infect now after seeing how AJ plays his cards. We got like a clump of lands in one spot, the creature behind it, and the walker to the right. Let's go Infect. Let's go.
Okay, first strike damage. That's going to be, remember, Infect deals damage in -1/-1 counters. So that's going to be 2 -1/-1 counters added to the archaeologist. Doesn't really matter here. We're animating an ink moth here. No, we're just going to play the blighted agent that we already knew about. What other spells we've got in hand?
We have another blighted agent.
Oh, I'm buying. Also, Mason, this deck looks like it's fully foiled. And as an Infect player that also owns a fully foiled Infect deck, I am so one-sided here for Kevin. Like, this is what I do, and this is all I'm doing. That's what he's basically saying here.
I like it.
Okay.
Liking things is cool.
This is I can't tell you how, like, you can't see my face, ladies and gentlemen. I am smiling so happy right now. Hopefully this pays off. Not that we've got favoritism. AJ on the powerful reanimator list, of course. I think just for our production team, I think AJ and Hunter's lists on the screen should be swapped around. I think it's Esper we're watching now, and Control is the bottom of our screen. We're going to go put another 2 cards into a graveyard. One of them is going to be a Traxer. That looks like Basic Island as well. Potentially, yes, Basic Island. A little bit of life gained. We've already worked out that's probably not going to be the way that we win this game here. And Otawara for the turn is our land drop. Do we have a Goya's Vengeance into an Ephemerate or something crazy like that? Looks like Prismatic Ending for 2. Gets rid of the Blighted Agent. Still leaves one on the battlefield. 1 card left in hand. Okay, I'm feeling, holding up something potentially like a Fatal Push could be in this list. Let me have a little look. There isn't, but it's not open deck list, so Kevin does not know.
Yeah, this is a weird one where I think you probably could have just held the Prismatic Ending because of the Teferi Plus, and would have, had the ability to Faithful Mending it into turn if Kevin doesn't push for the win. I liked it last turn when we killed the Noble because that's denying him mana. But here, a little different, but probably won't be the end of the world.
So lots of options that we've got here. Obviously, we can animate the Ink Moths as well if we choose to go that route, get a little bit more damage in. I think it's a Leyline Binding in hand at the minute. +2 unknown.
I think we have Leyline Binding, a land, and a pump spell. So we could do something like binding the creature to push damage. Hope they don't have a fatal push, which we know they don't. And then like pump and animate a Ink Moth and just like push 8 Infect. And just be like, I hope that's enough.
Which might be. I'm down for that. So what is that last card? What are we playing around? It looks like we're going to go for the green. We're going to go for the Binding straight away on the Archaeologist. Get the blocker out the way for the Crusader. Now, because we can't win in one shot here, because we're literally 1 mana short of being able to activate both Ink Moths and have mana up to use this pump spell, is there merit to try and get the Teferi off the battlefield and then get like maybe 3 to the Teferi and like 5 to face or something like that?
Yeah, I could totally see that. In this spot, like getting the unsummon off the board is kind of nice because then you get to push the blight again. We could also maybe even just see like 1 damage in the direction of Teferi if you want to deny the card draw, which I think is also reasonable. I think I lean more towards killing it if you're going to do that, but
there's also a shout of just getting 9 Infect in, which means every single creature is a lethal threat next turn, and you're going to make them deal with it with four lethal creatures.
Yeah, and I think that is where I land the most, because just giving it +5/+5 and hitting just puts AJ in this really weird spot where it's like normally if he sticks one of his fatty boom booms on the board, the life gain's enough, right? Grizzlebrand attracts those sort of things, making sure you don't die in combat. But this doesn't matter here. Now we have the 2 Ink Moths and the Blighted Agent. So not even to mention the Crusader. I'm just hoping we got a blocker for the Crusader.
This is it's kind of like a nice rule of thumb with Infect. Like if you can't get them from either 9 or 10, so either everything's lethal or lethal on that turn, you kind of tend to split it. But the fact full 9 to face, I'm happy with that. Yeah, you can have your Teferi. Yes, you can tick it down. Yes, you can bounce back my ley line, but that's not great for you anyway. I think that's what we're going through here. Maybe we need to go a card deeper in our deck. Plus, we get the Archaeologist trigger. But you are also giving a ley line back to Kevin.
Yeah, I'm really unsure what we can hit together here. I guess Grizzlebrand is the start. Because if you get Grizzlebrand, you can maybe get enough stuff. Because you'll just draw so many cards. But, you know.
Grizzlebrand can't block Crusader, remember? Pro white, pro red.
True. Yeah, so if you do that, that blocks the Crusader. The Teferi bounces the Blighted Agent. You draw 2 Solitudes and you Solitude down the lands.
All right, you've seen the line. Double draw. I think that's another Teferi. Having a little look what else we got going on here.
Making sure we have the types we don't have to discard, which honestly sometimes is a benefit, right? Like this card's played because it does put in the graveyard most of the time.
Chat's making sure that Fat Boom Boom is an official term. That is an official term in Magic. Mason has copyrighted that, especially for this broadcast. We're going to see the Goyas come back being cast, which means the Atraxa comes out of the graveyard. The powerful Phyrexian General is going to reveal the top 10 cards, put one of each card type in it to our hand. And to boot, she's going to have be a 7/7 life linking vigilance death touch flyer, but not too relevant in this match.
Yeah, this feels weird to me. I mean, maybe I missaw Grizzlebrand going to the graveyard. I thought we discarded on turn 1, or the first discard. Maybe I just missaw. Because Grizzlebrand would just be way more cards and you could ephemerate it or whatever. But
also can block Crusader.
Yeah, the being able to block Crusader thing, I think you're right, is the biggest part. And this not being able to do that, even if you hit the ephemerate or have it, is sort of big. But we'll have to see how this plays out here. So there's a land for turn.
Teferi just, I think Infect's about to win this game.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm quite happy about it. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess Grizzlebrand just didn't hit the yard.
Yeah, if there's no Grizzlebrand in there, then it makes sense getting this back. Plus, you could hit a whole bunch of extra cards. We didn't really hit well off it. Prismatic endings don't line up quite too well. Yeah, you can take out this Blighted Agent, but I think we might be forced to cash in this Teferi. The Leyline's Binding. You can have that back to hand. Okay, now we're going to get the Archaeologist. 1 card deeper. Archaeologist can reveal the top 4. We're digging. That is a
Ephemerate.
An Ephemerate?
Yeah, it's Ephemerate from the Mystical Archive again.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, honestly, Grizzlebrand's there, by the way. I enhanced. It's in there. So we made a decision for this Atraxa, and let's see if it pays off.
Leyline Binding on the Atraxa as the Ephemerate is going to be cast on it. Sure, but that means we've left the blocker. The Archaeologist can stop the Crusader. The problem is there's 4 lethal threats on the other side of the battlefield.
Yeah, this is just Jover, right? Because we're
using the Binding in response to the Ephemerate in case you top deck something. Okay.
Yeah,
which it makes sense because Crusader can't be blocked this way. Another 10 cards, 1 of each card type going to the hand. Is there anything we?
No, it's just over because the deck's leaning on Solitude so much as the removal, and so we have this Prismatic Ending, which also can't hit anything. Yeah, we're just dead.
Let's go. Infect 1 game up here against Esprit Reanimate, but this is a team tournament, so we do have 3 matches simultaneously playing, so maybe we can move across to one of them, please, producer. Looks like we're going to move across to Standard, where Gruul Aggro is a game up against Bant Toxic. That's right, this deck came to aggro. Bant Toxic, 5-color Infect and Mono Red as their team decks, but a game down here for Bant Toxic in Standard. So Mason, have a little look at that opener. Looks like they're happy with it. I think they're looking for the green light from production to kick off this game.
Love, live, laugh, love. You all good, Standard? It might also just be like a judge thing that's going on.
maybe just have a bit of a pause. You know what I mean?
Let's check out another match. We don't need to hang out here. Is the other
okay.
one playing?
What's the Pioneer matchup looking like? Production. It's over. It's over. Cool. All right. That one's going to be going to an Zoya's control victory momentarily, I imagine. Mono red, no creatures, no spells.
He's at one though.
One creature land, and ultimate, and it's a fairy.
Okay.
That's quite scary. I'm trying to think. What do these play the desert land that can do 2 damage?
Yeah, Ramen Ruins is I think the best draw because then you deal the 2 that can't be countered.
I'm gonna get the deck list up now. See what reach is in this deck. They've got skewers. They got play with 5. Yeah, there's a lot of reach in this list.
Yeah, we do have a 3-step ahead. It looks like we only have 1 counter spell in hand currently, but we do have 1 3 steps ahead. We find some No More Lies off the top. So yeah, I think Ramen Ruins is gonna be the lethal, and we see 1 in the graveyard already, actually. So something Hunter's probably thinking about.
I'm down for this. Okay, I love big top deck moments. But how much damage on the battlefield? There isn't 15 here, is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, okay, it's not enough. Just making sure.
Yeah, no haul for some sneaky lethals.
No extra ways of drawing cards. Remember, there is an ultimate. It's a fairy now. And he's going to say, look, I've got this counter spell. I've got you then 2 turns. But we've worked out the land would have been lethal. If that was on top, I would feel pretty bad by it. Okay.
I think what happened is he's saying, I'm going to draw 2 cards and exile 2 lands, and I have this No More Lies. So you can't throw the Ramen up at me.
Yeah, that is a bit of a hard lock. Okay, going across to standard, where we're going to see more infect counters thrown around. So I love it. Brandon, you are my hero. But 1 game down against this Gruul aggro list for Mason. We do see the double striker on the battlefield. Realistically, these banned toxic decks just look like good draft decks. If you get them up, maybe you're like, oh, this is a good draft deck with better mana base.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things about these block constructed decks, right? They're just it only really has 1 set of cards. There aren't any other toxic cards coming, most likely. There are none other in standard except from all be 1. So the deck just looks like a draft deck because you can only play with cards from that 1 set. And you know what? That combination sometimes is very well positioned. You play against Domain with Bant Toxic, and you are over the moon with how good your matchup is. It's one of the better matchups I've ever seen when it comes to win rates.
Okay, we're going to see player 5 is going to take out the Jawbone Duelist, and then the Swift Spear is going to come across that +1/+1 counter on it, plus the bomb prowess is going to be 3 damage total. How can we kind of rebuild here? Some reason I got hiccups. And we're going to start. Oh, okay, I don't know the name of this one. This is a Slaughter Singer.
Yep.
I feel like it should be a sort of stinger considering it's a toxic creature, but here we are. Yeah. It's going to sing lullabies to get toxic damage coming across. That's going to pump all toxic creatures that get turned sideways. We're going to see the flip, add another 2/2 to the battlefield. What else we got? Maybe a slick shot plus removal would be a great turn here.
Yeah, and we're seeing kind of why this matchup can be really tough for Brandon as the toxic player. They're sort of doing a similar thing as you, but with much more efficient removal. Brandon has cards like March's Swirling Mist that can remove something for a turn or save something. We have some unsummons like Serum Snare, but we don't have a ton of ways to clear the battlefield as efficiently as Mono Red does. And it matters when, your turn 2 is play a 1/1. Theirs is play a 2/3, grow it, and kill your thigh.
Realistically, being the toxic decks, you want to kind of prey on the main decks in standard, right? The big decks that can kind of grow quite a lot. That's interesting. Slick shot, end of turn there, not doing it main phase to get an extra point in. Any reason behind that?
I would imagine that maybe we thought Brandon had a card like Fading Hope or something. Okay. And we didn't want to get, we wanted to wait until damage, and maybe we fire something off and Brandon does something. And now we're just well, if I'm not going to be attacking them, I might as well plot it. Brandon's you got 2 Ancestral Rages? Guess what? Cast them.
So we're going to another singer came down there to coming across. One good difference between Infect and Toxic is obviously Toxic also does combat damage as well as poison counters, where Infect just does poison counters. So a little bit difference between us modern and standard decks here, but this is a lot of damage coming across now.
Yeah, this is really big, and just due to the prowess creatures, like Slickshot's essentially a prowess creature, right? Like it's a little better, but now we get to target this one, and everybody's growing with every spell. With Ancestral Anger, it's getting bigger
Or
and bigger, getting trample. Everyone else is growing.
multiple, of course, gets more for them out in the graveyard. So that's a +3, +2 on this one.
Yeah,
So many triggers.
and then if you have something, we have a Lightning Strike in hand, which I think finishes it off. Marching, discarding
Oh,
our entire hand. Yeah, we can get rid of it all. And March is a nice spell for clearing the way, but also sometimes randomly gets a kill. It's Rot Priest, right?
yeah. Oh, yeah. The Rot Priest line this with multiple Rot Priests plus this, it can just win out of nowhere, being able to time you target when your creatures. You get the trigger of being able to add poison counters to your opponent. So this is going to phase them out until Brandon's next turn, which means that it removes them from combat, so they won't be able to get all this damage in, which is a lot. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 damage. I think at them if this lines up. But they're all going to get phased out, so no combat damage coming across this turn. This might be the reprieve that we need. Yeah, those damage, the plus and plus characters don't get removed. It's not removing them from the battlefield, then putting them back in, so to speak. It's just a phase. And
it's not just a phase, Mom.
It's not just a phase. But no cards left in hand now. Now we're top decking. This isn't where we want to be. I think it was just a land. It is just a land. It's just a. Is it a
Mirrex, I believe.
Mirrex, yeah.
Yeah, we have a decent amount of toxic here too, but just not enough for lethal.
Yeah,
I think
6 damage plus 4 toxic. This would be so. Yeah, not enough. 7. So on the battlefield right now, there's 6 points of damage. This is where it's like, right, if you've got anything other than land, you're gonna win.
Yeah, I like this from Brandon. Just whatever. Don't need to hold a card.
Oh no, actually, this flips. This is 8 damage.
Don't worry about it. Just I'm gonna make a Mirrex. Maybe you don't attack. It can't block. Says it on the card. We got the actual token. In our hand.
Lightning strike, handshake. Okay, let's see if we can move back to our modern match, because let's be honest, that's the highlight of this game. This for me, it looks like we've got an earlier Traxxas coming down. Leyline Binding's dealing with it. Leyline the Guild Pact on the battlefield, but no creatures. Of course, as I say that, we have an Inkmoth Nexus for the land for the turn. 3 mana. Is this going to be Crusader? It is Crusader, which we know dodges all the solitudes and all the help me prismatic endings. Thank you.
Okay.
And also Teferi takedowns.
The Teferi takedowns, the Leyline Bindings, the jump blocks. It slices, it dices.
I'm having a little look. There's actually no way of getting it off the battlefield besides an Otawara and
Surprise Grizzlebrand blocks.
Surprise Grizzlebrand, Supreme Verdict, and maybe a Solitude. A Subtlety to stop it entering. Other than that, not too many answers once it's resolved.
True. Yeah, I guess Subtlety, because it has first strike, it never is big enough. Sort of a weird, it chumps blocks but never wins.
Okay. How are we gonna stacked hand here? But we're gonna have to play more of a racing game, I think. We need to get that life total down to 20. Here comes Grizzlebrand out the graveyard. Powerful 7/7, getting turned sideways, flying and life links. A 7 life gain, 7 life dealt, and normally 7 cards to hand is how this tends to play out. And yet, here we see 1, 2, 3. There's Supreme Verdict. 4, 5, 6, and 7. Double verdict to hand now. We're just turning and burning.
We're doing it.
I think that's an Ephemerate as well, to pull to the front of the hand.
Yeah, we have Ephemerate.
Here it comes. Remember, this does block the Crusader and the Inkmoth. What else do we want to do? We've got so many cards in hand.
Yeah, Grizzlebrand is very, very strong. Still one of the best creatures ever printed. Going decades strong.
Really good in these decks, and I think like the Surveil lands really pushed this deck up to up the rankings, being able to pit some of these cards in the graveyard that we would like to get there. We've got the option of potentially Goy's Vengeance thing turn 2 in Modern, which is nuts. In if you can get back things like Atraxas. We're going to discard. We're at these 5 cards in the graveyard. That's another Griselbrand Atraxa and 3 lands, leaving us with an absolutely stacked 7 cards.
Yeah, it's funny. You see AJ's keeping Ephemerate in hand because he actually needs to start attacking with the Griselbrand to kill Kevin, and then needs to Kevin goes for something and he Ephemerates, puts the Griselbrand basically untapped and can block then. But it looks like Kevin thinks he's got lethal.
Okay. Block this.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, I guess Kevin could pump. Okay, he's gonna pump the Ink Moth.
+5. One more. Is there?
He could pump the Griselbrand.
Oh, there's a Solitude.
The Solitude's not beatable. Let's just call it like I see it.
I'm so upset about this. We went for it. You got to respect it.
Yeah, I respect trying to win the game. It's funny because like the Ephemerate in hand just means you were dead too, but you could have cast one of these on the Blighted Agent or the Crusader.
Yeah,
and then it would eat the Griselbrand. Oh, sorry, the Griselbrand's an 8/8, right? Or it has 8 mana. It's a 7/7. That's right.
Yeah. 7/7, 8 mana.
Yeah. But
look, you live by the sword, you die by the sword, and in fact, you go for it, make him have it. We didn't see that the Solitude revealed off the cards, I imagine off the Atraxa. Obviously, because of brand, you don't see the cards that are drawn. It's just a nice straight 7. 2-1/1 count is happening, and then the Crusader goes. Yeah, this isn't going like how we want it to.
Yeah. Then AJ is also going to gain 5 life after the infect damage withers away. So,
well, we're going to see how I imagine this is probably locked now as we're going to draw another 7 cards to go into our turn. 8 as the card drawn for turn is going to happen as well. Option to Ephemerate if you want to. I can see Solitude in hand and Otawara. So basically all the tools we need to be able to get this game done and dusted as we see Ephemerate end of turn, just to get, make sure it's a 7/7 when we go to combat this turn. Yeah, double Ephemerate. We're not even using. We don't need any more cards. Grief drawn for the turn.
Yeah, I respect trying to attack and get it done sooner.
This is going to be 14 damage for the turn. As we're going to see the tracks are drawn. Top 10 cards. One of each card type can go to hand. Of course, that's optional. We don't have to draw them. And with I don't know about 14 gazillion cards in hand, maybe we don't draw them. What have we got? We've got Solitudes in there. Oh, no, Subtleties. We've got Flusterstorms. We're basically showing some of the cards that we've sideboarded here. Grief is going to go to hand as the creature. There is one card left in hand for Kevin.
Yeah, I'm Kevin. I let him resolve this, and I scoop. It's over. I can't win. Such is life. If we had like an Ink Moth in play, maybe we could get a little tricksy with it, but...
Yeah, that line when we took where it all just went real bad. Yeah, we're scooping it up. Which normally we can go across to one of the other the matchups, but I kind of want to get this deck list on screen for everybody at home. Just have a little look at this 5-color infect list. Something we don't typically see in Modern or just in Magic these days. Let's be honest. This is the list, and look. There must be at least 2 infect players in the room, me being one of them, making a mental note of this moving forward. Some cards I wouldn't traditionally think would be in here. The Wren of the Realm Breaker is a different way to go about it, but I'm all here for it. I love it. This team, of course, is 2-0 as we're into round number 3. This is it's a spice. I feel like there's been some cookings happened here, Mason.
There's 3 Glister Elves in the sideboard for the Vroom Vroom matchup, so I gotta go fast.
I didn't even notice that. I didn't even notice it.
It's the first thing I saw. I'm like, what does this person's sideboard look like? I can talk about it. Probably gonna see the Endurances, Veil of Summers come in. I assume it's a Glister Elf matchup. Can't let the game go long. You're running the Realm Breaker, not very good here.
I'm down for bringing them in. I think the Necromancers as well. Maybe we can take out the Goya's Vengeance, get them out of the deck, stop all these big engine happening. Endurances are going to bring. So yeah, there's a lot of cards here. Got to make sure that we don't dilute our main game plan too much, though. But Draco's not going to be doing much in this matchup. So that could end up coming out, leave the ley lines in, because that really does help our game plan going forward. I'd be interested to see how reliant we are on these guild packs. Like, do we have to mulligan until we have them plus an infect creature? Because let's be honest, infect creatures, we have to mold till we have them. So maybe it's really affecting. Interest in this nonetheless. So, thank you for getting that up on screen for us, production. If we can get down to one of the other games that are currently playing, and we'll come to, well, if they're finishing sideboard, let's stay here. If we're going, let's get this game at number 3 of 5-color Infect versus Esper Reanimate. It looks like Gruul Aggro is taking down that standard match, which we thought would happen the way that it turned out, but the Pioneer is leveled up to 1 apiece. So if Esper can take this one down, they're going to be advancing to a 3-0 record. 7 rounds today, plus a top 8. A lot of Magic to be played, and I love it. Huge shout out to NRG. If you haven't hit that follow button, I need you to hit that follow button. Before this round went live, we were told that we are 23 follows away from 20,000 followers. So please do us a favor. Please hit that follow button. I want to finish this round with production telling us we've hit 20,000, because that's a huge benchmark, especially on the the current Paper Magic Twitch train that we're on here in 2024.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You get a lot of perks from following. You don't miss the streams. You get the little emote. We stop talking about it. A lot of good things happen if you click the follow button. So make sure to click that follow button. And we can move on there. As we are going to get a mulligan as...
Yeah, mulligan for Kevin. I think I saw a Draco in hand there. So it looks like that they've stayed in. Maybe look at what's happening.
I think maybe the other teammate might be... Let's jump over to the other match. Something's happening in the other game. They're talking about, I want to see it. I don't want to see shuffling.
So it looks like we've got a player fire on the stack. That's going to get Darren vetoed. 1 Pro-Ash trigger as Taylor Swift Spear is coming in for a bit of damage. And then the follow-up is getting countered. Oh, that's the...
Case of the Crimson Pulse.
Yes. Love it.
We have 1 in play too, and we're only 1 card in hand. That card, you discard your hand at the beginning of each of your upkeeps, and then you draw 2 more cards. It's really good in like these burn decks, excuse me. So if Hunter doesn't have something like Get Lost, he's in typically a really good spot right now, right? Well, 13 life, yeah. We're at 5 mana, everything's looking like pretty good. But if you start drawing 3 burn spells a turn, where just a burn spell every turn for sure, you don't flood out, those control decks count on you drawing 2 or 3 lands in a turn.
I think Molin is just starting and kicking off. Where do you want to? I'll let you pick, Mason. Do you want to go to? Obviously, my favorite is Infect, but if you want to stay here for a little bit, we can.
I'd like to stay here for a little bit and just sort of see what happens here. Because it looks like how Jack drew a land for turn, wasn't able to deploy all his cards. It might change the bit of the game up.
Yeah, I feel like how that's kind of how this will turn out, right? If we can not hit a non-land spell, being able to cast it while playing a land, start getting it online, drawing extra, like, is it 3 cards a turn you end up drawing then? That just might be too much pressure for the blue-white deck to deal with, unless they can find an answer for it. Just adding the... Is it Kuhira? I was about to say, which one is it that we're playing here? Okay, that's a spell. That's fine. Land for turn. 1 mana. Play this. Now we're empty-handed. 1 point of damage coming across. Goblin on the battlefield is what it is. Don't worry about it. We're going to animate this Den of the Bugbear. Turn it sideways. Generate another 1/1 Goblin token. We're going to block here. They're going to trade. It was a 2/2, wasn't it? Or was it just a 1/1?
It was a 1/1 because remember we just killed the Sphere. Yeah.
Oh, the value. Oh, the value.
And the case is solved. And this might be tying it up 1/1. We might be back to Infect a lot sooner than you thought.
All to play for, remember, best of 3. So best of 3 plus 3 of yours. What am I seeing?
Regal Caracol.
No. This one brings along life-linking cats, right?
Yeah, it's a cat lord, and it makes 2 1/1 life-linking cats. So those are 2/2 life-linking cats. And Will, we picked up Kahira last turn, which is another cat lord against vigilance. If we don't kill this Kahira, those are going to be 3/3s. We're going to be slamming in every turn, gaining a bunch of life. And this is one of the cards you get when you play Kahira. You lose Baneslayer, but you unlock cards like Regal Caracol.
I think we got a Skewer plus a Searing Blaze in hand. So, his Skewer. So that's off the battlefield. That's step 1. Oh, it's just a Soul Scar. We've got Soul Scar plus a Desert. Sure, play it all. I also comes with a +1/+1 counter. I think we're trying to do the math of, is it worth animating Den of the Bugbear here?
Yeah, because if you animate Den, you do offer the trade with the 2 cats for the Den, which I think favors you
But
because you don't want the cats on the board any longer.
yeah, you've got another one as well.
Yeah.
So I like it. Get a bit more damage in there. Of course, 9 life, not a lot, especially when your opponent's drawing multiple cards a turn.
Yeah, so this is 6 damage. I kind of like just no blocking because you have the Kahira that +1/+1s the cats and gives them vigilance. They're gonna crack back for 4, and then you trade your 1/1s for the goblins. I mean, there is Ramanop Ruins in play, so you're gonna go down to 3, up to 7. It really depends, I guess, on what your last couple cards in hand is. I could see maybe chump blocking with 1, right? You just absorb a little bit of damage.
I'm seeing it. Well, I'm having a look. Is there any answers to this? Okay, we've got marches that can deal. We've got farewell that can deal with it. We've got get lost. Okay, there's quite a few options in the deck to be able to get the case. What are we saying? Closed? Is that the way to put
Yeah,
it?
the case closed. I like it. Yeah. Ooh, that's what you should say when you solve the case. Case closed.
I'm down for it. I loved all the pre-releases, seeing everybody dressed up for that set when it came out. Now
That's
everybody's
cool.
turned into cowboys.
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to see what you were talking about here. Just chump blocking with just the one, kind of making sure we only take 2 points this turn.
Yeah. It's really tough. If that Kamana wasn't flipping next turn, it'd be so easy just to take and then just shove, like get your 4 life. Basically took 2 on the turn prior. Can't attack for, with impunity. But the case is also just pressuring you so much. So you're a hunter. You need an answer.
Yeah. Team event. 2 of the 3 players need to win for your team to advance, remember. And right now it's going very well for the team of Mason, AJ, and Hunter. Already got Mason with the W, so that puts a lot of pressure on Jack and Kevin to win their games. Both games in game 3 right now. That's not a typo. That is 5-color infect on the modern seat.
Yeah. Looks like there's maybe some discrepancy about life totals, just making sure we have everything right. Very easy with all the little pings and stuff to, mark something down wrong.
And every point counts for this mono red deck as well. So you don't want them to get messed up. End of turn, we're discarding our hands. So that is going to be a soul scar mage.
It's not the end of turn. Yeah, it's
it's upkeep, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a really weird one where actually your burn spells are super strong because of it. Luckily, the players caught it. Hunter knows a soul scar mage is going to get discarded now, which doesn't really matter.
Okay, here's a Cura. 2 damage. Swing, so 18 gaining 2, going up to, if the life total is correct, they would have taken 2 last turn total, so this will put them back up to 9.
Yeah, we attacked, we did our thing, and now we're thinking about, we have something.
There's so many lands on the other side. So you're drawing 3 cards a turn. There's a good chance we're going to be able to cast every spell that we play, as well as we've got creature lands, plus we've got 3 ruins on the other side. So that's technically 6 damage.
Yeah, I think Hunter has a Gonjo in hand, and he's thinking about, do I need to play it versus just channel it to answer one of the bodies?
Okay, we're passing the turn back. Now we discard our hand.
Yep.
Now this that flips in the main phase, right?
It flips in the main phase, but
it doesn't matter. We're shortcutting. It's fine.
Yeah.
Draw 3 cards. Chandra was double Chandra plus a
light
up the stage. They actually work really well with each other because you can tick up, generate that 1 mana, get that 1 point of damage across. Oh, okay. We're cooking.
Yeah, Jack is going to be in a he's just in pretty, we're going to play this Chandra. We're going to do Dovin's Veto it. I'll play another one, And like you mentioned, it takes up Trigger Spectacle, but also makes that red mana. So, we can just keep moving through our deck and just throw with impunity at Hunter. The Caracol was the biggest threat, and it got answered right away, luckily.
So, probably tap our basic mountains. It's probably worth, and maybe 1 ruin to play it instead of the Den of the Bugbear, giving us more options. But we're deciding. I think they're having a little bit of a team talk here of how they want to sequence these things going forward. So 5, 4 mana. What are we doing?
I don't know either, to be honest. I find it hard to believe that Jack's gonna Spectacle before playing Chandra. Yeah.
Challenger's going to come down. You can have a little read of this. Maybe we can get this up on the screen for everybody else to have a look at. This is a 3-mana Challenger, Dress to Kill, +1, add 1 red mana, and deals 1 damage to up to 1 target player or planeswalker. Also got second +1 of exile top card of your library. If it's a red card, you can cast it this turn. -7, look at the top 5 of your library. You may cast red spells from among them this turn. You get an emblem of whenever you cast a red spell. This spell deals X damage to any target, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast that spell. So pretty good 3-mana planeswalker, especially in this spot of the game.
I think Jack forgot he got his red mana from Chandra. He keeps tapping his mana. Luckily, all his spells cost 1 mana, so it shouldn't matter too much. It'd actually be an insane play, though, if Jack was trying to set up Hunter to play a No More Lies. And he's like, I got the red floating. And Hunter's just like, oh, I'm dead.
I think they talk about getting the life linking creature off the battlefield, and yeah, that's what we're going to go with. Get that 2/2 cat off. Now we've got another Challenger in hand. Is there any advantage to playing it? Well, first we're going to wait for this No More Lies, which is going to reveal a Skewer plus another land drop. That Skewer's pretty nice. You get another blocker off the battlefield.
Yeah, Kahira is, threatening to be another Lord for Caracol, so you might as well use this. You also only have this turn, so.
Oh, we're going face.
Oh, okay. We're trying to set up lethal.
So, well, if we go to face, that drops us down to 2. This combat step means we've got to have something. And Oganjo, no, that's the which was the white one that deals with 4 damage to basically target its own creature. And that is going to be enough. That is going to level it up here for Jack. So it's all going to be on Kevin with 5-color Invec versus AJ on Esper Reanimate. Let's move across that modern deck as quick as we can.
Okay. Well.
Okay.
So we have Grief that can chump block right now. Clearly, there's a lot of cards in play. And Invec's at 7, Will. So we're not out of it yet.
What's the top deck that we need? Because we need a pump spell and we need a removal spell here. So let me have a little look.
On divination, and then
let's get in the tank. There is a Leyline on the battlefield. Draco doesn't do it. Well, okay, let me have a real good read of this Wren of the Realmbreaker. There's a lands tap for all mana, +1. Land drop becomes a 3/3. Doesn't matter. -3. Mill 3 cards, put a permanent from among them into your hands. No, that's just the same as drawing a card, really. Emblem, nothing. Okay, so Realm doesn't do anything. 3. Oh, and that Grief's not on the battlefield. So there's double Solitude in hand, so that means Ignoble Hierarch is not a line. Does this mean a pump spell is good enough?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a pump spell is strong enough as long as there isn't a counter. Well,
there's a Flusterstorm, but that's fine. We can pay that.
Yeah, Flusters shouldn't be able to be a thing.
Okay, flip it. One time. Go into combat. 2. No blocks.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm on the edge of my seat. Are we just going to go to 1 infect?
Okay. Pass the turn.
Is this a pass? Okay, so you got to find another way of either killing me this turn, which there are lots of ways of doing that, or you have to have a way of dealing with this Phyrexian Crusader. A Supreme Verdict is definitely a way of getting around that protection from white. In for 7 points.
Looks like AJ decided not to Ephemerate in order to sort of deal the 7, and then probably Verdict in order to clear the battlefield up and push the most damage he could. Appreciate the value of 7 life. 7 cards a lot. 7 life's a lot too. Get him dead.
Here comes Supreme Verdict. All blue, white 1. Destroy all creatures. So sure, Crusader's going to hit the bin. Now what can we do? Is there like another Goyos? No, if there's another Goyos, we could probably go for it that turn to win. I think they're talking about which land should we play. Should we play the untapped or play the Surveil? We're going to go with playing the untapped land, which is an island into an archaeologist. Reveal the top 4 cards. Pit the is it 4 or 3? I thought it was 4 cards.
I think it's 3 cards. It becomes an 0/4.
Maybe
you
that's where I'm
miss.
getting confused with. But it's going to put a Goya's in hand, which means we might be seeing that Atraxa a lot sooner than later. And that 4 life for Kevin, not ideal. I think might be a Leyland's Binding in hand.
I think he has Binding in a Triumph.
Sure, let's go. Let's go a card deeper.
Yeah, try and find like an Ink Moth or
I think it was a Hierarch.
okay. A little surprised to not see it, but I guess it doesn't super matter.
But we got to hold up this Leyland's Binding, right? We just saw the Goyos.
Oh, sure. That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, in my head, I was thinking they're gonna, ephemerate it or whatever, but yeah, you still gotta.
It doesn't matter with a Flusterstorm. It's not going to. Oh no, Flusterstorm doesn't hit it, does it? Because it's enchantment.
Leyland
just read
Binding,
the cards, Will.
Winning again.
Just read the cards. It's easy. All right, we're going for it. I would like to reanimate this Atraxa. Put it into play. Give it haste. Main part is, though, it has a lovely little ETB where we're going to reveal the top 10 cards, put one of each card type into our hand. Any responses? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. I've stopped counting now. I can count to 10. In fact, I'm good at this bit. Reveal them off the camera so we can't see. Great. There's another Goyo. So if there is a Gristlebrand in the graveyard, that is going to be too much, too overwhelming, and we're going to see AJ take this game down. But it looks like we're going to go for the Ephemerate. Otawara to hand. Grief to make sure the coast is clear. And that's it. Just going to go for the 3 card types. I think it averages about 4 normally per hit from Atraxa. But this is enough. We've already got so many cards in the hand. Maybe we don't need to do it. Let's see if the coast is clear. Where we're going to get rid of the Goyos for this Grief. This might be the Leyline in response. Leyline is going to come down. It's just like, do we want to fight over this? 3 mana. Otawara, while it's on the stack, that's going to be enough because that means it's not going to get exiled, which means it's still going to have haste, which is going to be enough to turn it sideways. But first, this Grief is going to resolve to reveal the hand, which is... Oh, I think that was just one of the pump spells, actually. It's not the Noble. Attack you for lethal. There's the fist bump. GG's. We're going to see the team of Mason, AJ, and Hunter advance to 3-0. Brandon, Kevin, and Jack going to drop to 2-1. But don't worry, this is a 7-round tournament. So much more magic left to come here on the NRG series. I'm going to see if production can... we're going to have an interview with AJ. Sick. Okay, so while we kind of set that up, we'll kind of remind you what is going on today and what's happened throughout this whole weekend. Well, yesterday we had 9 rounds of modern action, and we managed to crown ourselves a champion this morning, and that champion is May. She took it down with Living End. Obviously, the deck lists are going to go live shortly, if not already. So all you beautiful people watching can get that and start jamming that maybe at your next F&M next big event, or just through the leagues on Modo. And then we switched over to today. Today we've got Standard, Pioneer, and Modern action in our team event where we've got 94 teams battling out to try and get themselves to number 1. Because, of course, today the champions not only get themselves some trophies, get themselves a bunch of money, but more importantly, Mason, what do they get on?
They get into our end of the year player championship over $20,000 in prizes, a Pro Tour invite, and if you win it, we haven't talked about this, you get invited to the next year. So winning it's a PTQ and QC you for the next year's $20,000 invitational. The EV is insane. It is one of the most value profitable things you can do is grind the NRG series. So if you're someone who's in that area, consider doing it. We reward consistent success. We talk about points you get on the leaderboard. The players with the most points at large get invited as well, Will. So you don't even have to win. Well, if you just make the finals a couple times, right? And just make it. And just like, you have honestly, we've had a lot of players who haven't even top 8'd more than one event, and they make it because they had consistent top 16s, and they just like every tournament had a solid finish, and they got 6 points, 6 points, 6 points. And if you just get 6 points twice a weekend, every weekend, you're going to make it. The math just almost always works out that way. So come on out, support some Paper Magic, and get the game. It's a very fun time.
Maybe we can get some of the future events on the screen for everybody at home production while we're waiting for it. Well, I say that as soon as AJ gets into the bit. Let's just go straight to AJ, where we're going to be interviewing our winner there in the modern seat. So as soon as we move across to it, we'll start that. I think production is just waiting. There we go. How are we doing, AJ? Welcome. Congratulations. You got Mason and Will in the booth asking you some questions. First, I'm going to start kicking off. You did me some dirty. I'm an Infect player. What did you think sitting across from that 5-color domain Infect list? What was going through your head? What were you like? What's going on? That's exactly what I was saying. Exactly what I was saying. It was sick to see, but you managed to take it down, with your powerful reanimator list, getting, being able to get the W. We kind of saw game 1. We missed a little bit of game 2, and then in game 3, we came in at the end there where you managed to get the W. So good, huge congrats to that. Mason, next question.
Yeah, so you mentioned you used to play Infect a lot like that. What drew you to this reanimator deck? Nice.
All right, team events. You got to pick, well, not only which 2 friends you want either side of you, but you also got to pick who's going on what format. How did you come to this conclusion that you're going to be sitting in the modern seat? That's an easy way of doing it. Cool. Good answer. I like it.
So, you're 3-0 right now. It's a 7-round tournament. You and your friends feeling excited. You're getting pretty close to, you win a couple more, start shaking hands. Have you all got to like top 8 and play in team events together in the past, or is this, the kind of the first gathering?
Team all together, like in a
Oh,
long
okay.
time. But we all have done like pretty good individually in other tournaments. So we're pretty hyped right now.
Well,
Heck
sick.
yeah.
Keep riding that hype train, and hopefully we get to see you in the top 8 of today. You're 3-0 in a couple more rounds. You start looking at double ID territory, getting yourself locked. So we're going to let you go away, celebrate with your friends as we move back to the booth. So congratulations, AJ.
Thank you.
And we are back in the booth. Maybe production can tell us how many games are left or how much time is around, because there is a new
time was just called.
Time was just called. Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't hear.
We heard in the background the judge was like, "Time in the round."
I was